Let's talk about the coronavirus.
The Philippines has reported the first death from the new coronavirus outside of China.
Breaking news. The first death from coronavirus here in the United States.
Worldwide. Of that figure, there are 33,378 confirmed cases in Africa,
including 57 confirmed cases right here in the United States. 58. And so...
10 a.m., January 23rd. Wuhan goes into lockdown, an effort to stop a deadly virus from spreading further through the nation.
The virus is potentially a World War level threat. And you might be thinking, with this level of danger, we should be turning to God.
The number of confirmed coronavirus patients in Wuhan on day one of the lockdown was announced, 495. 10 times the number 2 weeks earlier.
Where in the hell did this disease come from?
These authorities have traced a new deadly virus
from the wildlife sold in
this seafood market
in Wuhan that was illegally selling wildlife.
People were happy. People were happy to accept the official explanation from China, which was that the virus originated at a live animal market where it somehow jumped from a bat to a human. And we were like, okay, I think that's the plot of Dark Knight, but we'll accept it. But now that all of us have been stuck in the house with nothing to do except throw our cats' birthday parties over Zoom, everyone at home has had time to come up with some theories about how exactly they think this whole thing went down.
This seafood market was once believed to be the ground zero of the virus outbreak. Local authorities shut the market on January 1st. But the virus was already on the move.
The coronavirus, which started in Asia, has now spread from Europe to the US, the Middle East, and all the way, as of today, to South America.
Italy is on total lockdown.
Italy has lost more people to coronavirus than any other country in the world.
So the story made sense until it came out that those viral videos of people eating bat soup weren't even filmed in China. Yeah, and then we found out that viruses can't survive cooking anyway. So that was out the window.
Wild animals were blamed, but evidence already pointed to human-to-human transmission. Wuhan's 38,000 licensed medical workers were stretched thin as the virus progressed. As people turned up at fever clinics, the city's health system was buckling under the strain.
Then I heard about a different conspiracy theory that totally makes sense. You see, it turns out Corona was never just a virus. No, it was actually a weapon created to take old people out.
If you go online, there's no shortage of conspiracy theories. All right, so here's one. The virus was bioengineered in a lab by scientists to be used as a weapon or a form of population control.
It is to get rid of non-productive Chinese in the Chinese community. In the words of George Bernard Shaw, should be eliminated. So they don't have to be fed.
As much as I wanted to believe that theory, I had to let it go, okay? Because a team of scientists with degrees and qualifications, they sequenced the genome of the coronavirus. They broke it down, and they found that unlike every butt in Miami, this virus definitely wasn't man-made. So, okay, fine. Maybe this wasn't a biological weapon.
I'm declaring a public health emergency of international concern over the global outbreak of novel coronavirus.
On January 31st, the World Health Organization declared the outbreak a public health emergency of international concern. The fight to cage the viper is no longer just about Wuhan.
The main reason for this declaration is not because of what is happening in China. Our greatest concern is the potential for the virus to spread to countries with weaker health systems.
In the bleak Madrid rain, Spain's gravediggers are going about their task with grim purpose. The virus claimed another 849 lives here in the previous 24 hours. Lockdown means the burials are lonely and heartbreakingly brief.
So let's go over to Japan, where the coronavirus isn't just getting people sick, it's also going for the gold.
The 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo might be canceled because of the outbreak.
A senior member of the International Olympics Committee told the Associated Press, you're probably looking at a cancellation if the coronavirus outbreak isn't curtailed by May.
You're talking about hundreds of thousands of people coming from 200 plus countries, all staying in close quarters here in Tokyo for a few weeks and then going back out to their home countries. If they don't get this thing under control, the potential for a major public health crisis and outbreak is huge.
Yes, the Olympics might be canceled because of the coronavirus. And personally, I'm devastated.
But a shortage of test kits was slowing the process of confirming cases. And there still weren't enough hospital beds.
Now, scientists are still learning about this virus because it's so new. What we do know, though, is that it's extremely contagious and that it looks different depending on which news channel you're watching. Yeah, on NBC, it looks like fish eggs. On ABC, it looks like Nickelodeon slime. On CBS, it looks like radioactive cauliflower. And on Fox News, they just made it look like Hillary Clinton. Lock it up! Lock it up!
There's a conspiracy theory sweeping the globe that coronavirus is caused by 5G technology.
The theory is that 5G damages the human immune system.
All of us should know what's taking place right under our noses.
What 5G actually does, it absorbs oxygen, and that's really important to know.
5G gets switched on, people drop like flies, and all of a sudden you've got the excuse because, well, there's a virus going on.
Some people in the UK bought into it so much they started lighting cell phone towers on fire.
5G burning. Burning, 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 burning.
5G, just like 4G and 3G before it, is broadcast at such a low frequency, it's too weak to do any damage to you. So saying 5G makes you sick is sort of like saying an iPhone flashlight gave you a sunburn.
A local doctor, Li Wenliang, tried to alert people about the virus a month before the lockdown, but he was reprimanded by the local authorities. Then he too became sick.
Dr. Li Wenliang contracted the virus last month, and back in December, he noticed a number of patients with symptoms resembling SARS. That's when he tried to warn people on social media to take protective measures.
It was back in late December when Li first warned friends on WeChat about a SARS-like disease going around. Li sent a group message saying that a test result from a patient quarantined at the hospital where he worked showed a patient had a coronavirus. But hours after hitting send, Wuhan city health officials tracked Li down, questioning where he got the information. He agreed to sign this document, admitting to spreading rumors online and severely disrupting social order. It reads, "We want you to cooperate with the police and listen to our reminder and stop the illegal act. Can you do that?" Li answered, "Yes, I can." But if action had been taken when he and others started sounding alarms, the severity of the outbreak might have been understood sooner. Then came a sudden jump in infections. China's central government took over, scrambling to contain a spreading virus with a rising death toll. Struggling to communicate, Li spoke with CNN briefly by phone on January 31st. You could hear the hospital machines pulsing in the background. With Li coughing too much and breathing too poorly to speak by phone, we asked Li by text, "How did you feel when this happened?" "I felt a little afraid I would be detained, afraid my family would worry," Li responded.
CGTN reached out to him, but he was already severely ill with the coronavirus. But that day never came. On February 7th, Li passed away.
In China, there's an outpouring of grief and anger. People are mourning the doctor who died yesterday after putting out an early warning about the coronavirus outbreak.
The 34-year-old ophthalmologist diagnosed Saturday with the Wuhan coronavirus, dying less than a week later in the same hospital in which he worked. Chinese state media first reported that Li was one of several whistleblowers silenced by police. Calls for Li and the others to be vindicated grew online. China's Supreme Court even weighed in, adding, quote, "It might have been a fortunate thing if the public had listened to this rumor at the time." But for many, including Li and his parents, it was too late. They all contracted the coronavirus. Li's condition declined rapidly. But before his death Friday, he witnessed the support of thousands online who considered him a hero.
The responses online reflected a profound grief and a deep anger. The two topics trending on Chinese social media were Wuhan government owes Dr. Li Wenliang an apology and we want freedom of speech. Both had tens of thousands of views before being censored. He was 34. David Culver, CNN, Beijing.
Across the continent, musicians are recording songs about social distancing, spotting symptoms, and of course, washing hands. It's all part of an effort to get vital information about the disease prevention to people who might not get it otherwise.
Yeah. Everything is changed nowadays. Funny how we can't even play no more. It was only yesterday when we party every day. Now it's blood on the dance floor. All because of the virus.